Yo, what's going on, everyone? It is your boy Pup. We are back for week 1 of the ICP. This week we are taking on Bope and the Cleveland Guardians. We faced them in week 1 of the BBR-D League, so really fun to get their rematch here. But make sure you guys go check them out along with all of the other ICP coaches. Their links should be in the description. Also, check out the draft analysis if you guys did not look at that last weekend. As you can see my team on screen here. Looking at the team like this, my speed tiers don't look very good. I mean, just looking at it. I also don't have all the Terra types, but, you know, we'll get through that when we need to. But looking at Bope's team, they have a lot of really strong Pokemon. Metagross is just a really nice, like, round 1 pick, something that I really wish got back to me. As a great steel type. They have Grimmsnarl, which is Screams, annoying. Oranguru can be Trick Room, but I don't think it comes to this game. Iron Thorns is one of their Terra Captains, or is their Terra Captain for sure in this game, and it's the scariest Mon for me, being Terra Electric, Water, and Terra Ground. Just absolutely clobbers my entire team. It's very, very hard for me to find anything that can take one hit from that Pokemon, especially if we let them get a Dragon Dance up. So yeah, we definitely can lose to that guy. We have to build our team to, just around making sure we do not straight up lose to it. 7 Milotic, which is a great, special wall versus me. I mean, I think it's pretty solid to try to take hits from stuff like Primarina, but I mean, a Moonblast is going to hurt them really badly, so it is what it is. They have Houndoom. I also don't think this Pokemon comes to this game. I mean, it pretty horribly gets walled by Clodsire, and it's not great offensively. They have Toedscruel, which should come as well as like a sort of hazard setter, since my only spinner is Komala. They have Hisuian Sneasel, which is a Pokemon I really wanted on the team instead of my Weird Ear, but it is what it is. Would have been a nice speed tier, but it's really nice for them. I mean, Clodsire completely just straight up walls them. But still a solid Pokemon in this game that keeps me from clicking Toxic Spikes or Toxic, and it's just very annoying to revenge kill stuff like my Goodra and my Komala. And then they also have Noivern, which is one of the fastest things on the field after my Hisuian Electrode, and it's just annoying because Draco hurts very hard versus most of the Pokemon on my team. But I do have some answers to that I'll hopefully be able to take. But yeah, looking at this matchup, it's just not a good one for me. My speed tiers are bad, maybe something that I need to fix in the next couple of weeks, but I mean, just looking at it, the Iron Thorns absolutely destroys me. So I just need to make sure I don't lose to that Pokemon overall, and hopefully this team will be able to do it. But the first thing up on my team is this Primarina here. We are a Choice Scarf set. I just realized that all those moves are the wrong typing, but it is what it is. You can read the words. But I mean, it's super scary. Versus their entire team. We get to click Moonblast basically for free. Only thing that can eat hits is Metagross, and if they're not like Assault Vested or if they're not specially defensive, they really don't want to be taking them, especially if we get a nice prediction and click Fliptorn or click Surf versus them. Energy Ball is there because it's a nice mid-ground click into the Iron Thorns, because if they Terra Water or Ground, it'll be able to hit them as well as if they do not Terra, since it's super effective against that rock typing. And I don't think in this game they would want to be Terra Electric, not into a Clodsire team. I don't think it makes that much sense. I feel like Water is the more likely Terra in this game, so that's why I popped Energy Ball on here. Hopefully it'll end up working for that. But just a really nice Pokemon. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to outrun the Noivern if they are max speed, so we can't, just destroy them with a Moonblast off the bat. But we did take the hits from them decently well anyways, and this Pokemon's just a big threat for them that they're going to have to figure out some way to deal with. Next Pokemon on the team works very, very well with Primarina and is our premier Iron Thorns check, being Clodsire. Now, it seems like Clodsire wouldn't be a great check when that Pokemon has Terra Ground and Earthquake, or Terra Water and Terra Blast that would be able to destroy me, but we're Water Absorbed to get around the Terra Blast Water, and we are Air Balloon to get around the Earthquake. So if their only attacks are an Electric move, a Ground move, a Water move, anything like that, then we just win versus them 1v1, but we can't let them pop the Air Balloon, which is a little bit annoying. If the Sneasel comes, then they're going to be able to pop our balloon, since Clodsire is my switch into that Pokemon. But hopefully we'll be able to, keep it bluffed, or, potentially get up a T-Spike to limit the Iron Thorns, or do something like that if they do bring that Pokemon, or just find other ways around the Hisuian Sneasel. We definitely can, and I feel like it's fine. But we're max Fizdef on this thing. Hopefully we'll be able to take the Thorns down. But, with my best check to Iron Thorns can just lose if its balloon is popped, it's a not good matchup for us. And I know I could have went unaware, but on the off chance that they go for Terra Water, which is a very strong typing into me, it puts me in a horrible, horrible spot. Next up on the team is Iron Jugulus. Choice specs mode absolutely destroys them. Their switching to Dark Pulse is a Grimmsnarl that, I mean, can click Spirit Break, but doesn't really do too much. We also have Hurricane that literally just has no resist on their team besides the Metagross, which doesn't want to take it when I can easily throw out Dark Pulse or potentially even Flamethrower, which can hit them on a mid-ground on like Toedscruel, or the Metagross can also pick up kills. And then we have a U-turn, you know, just get some nice momentum if we do predict them to switch out. Switch into something like Grimmsnarl that could set up like a light screen in our face. It's really nice versus them since I am able to block the Thunder Wave, block the Parting Shot from that Prankster Grimmsnarl. So it's a solid lead versus them if I do predict them to, you know, just try to set up some screens on turn 1. Hurricane really just takes care of a lot of what they want to do on their team. And if it is a more specially defensive Metagross that they go out into, then we know that for later. And we can just click Surf or Moonblast into it with Primarina to be able to chip that Pokemon down and hopefully, you know, open up this win con with Iron Jugu just hitting some Hurricanes. Next up on the team is going to be our Terra Captain for the week, Hisuian Electrode. Terra Ice makes a lot of sense in this team to be able to destroy Pokemon like the Toedscruel and like the Noivern. Obviously, we do a lot of damage even if we were Terra Electric, which is why I thought to bring that. But I decided Terra Ice is just a little bit safer. It does make me more susceptible to a potential Choice Scarf Hisuian Sneasel, which looks like a solid set into my team. And it also makes me more susceptible to Bullet Punch from the Metagross. So those are kind of some reasons why I didn't want to bring it, but I felt like I had to, because my checks to those two Pokemon are not the greatest. I do have a good Noivern check, and you know, it also deals pretty decently well with that Toedscruel, but if that check goes down ever, then I would be in a terrible spot, and I kind of need this. But we are Eject Pack plus Leaf Storm. Basically, if I see the Iron Thorns in front of me, it doesn't matter what kind of Terra type they want to be. I just click Leaf Storm and I get that free Eject Pack out to potentially go straight out to Clodsire or potentially go straight out into like my Choice Scarf Primarina to be able to try to check them. And, you know, it should do a lot of damage while putting me in a position where I do not let them get 2 Dragon Dances up, which is the only way that they really sweep my entire team. We're also static on the set just in case they do end up hitting me if they're like Terra Water and they Thunder Punch into my Electrode before I Terra. I could potentially try to bait out a static, and that can also save me in the end game. Second to last Pokemon on the team is going to be my Metagross check, even though not a great one. I don't deal with Metagross very well, but this Pokemon does. So it's going to be Goodra, Hisui. I mean, obviously they can click Earthquake versus me, which hurts very hard, but I do have a Shucka Berry variant on this one. I am like very defensive. That should be plus a defense with 216 EVs. And then we click Fire Blast versus them. If they're not especially defensive, they can get like 2 or 3 at KO depending on how much chip there is on them from Primarina before that. But it looks pretty solid into them. We do not die to 2 Earthquakes ever unless they're like Choice Banded and they get me on a prediction. But if they ever click something like Heavy Slam versus me, Psychic Fangs, those attacks are going to do literally 0 damage to me, so I don't have to worry about that at all. And Goodra can hopefully take care of that. I can also use it to potentially Dragon Tail out the Iron Thorns, since we do have the Shucka Berry to eat a Terra Ground Earthquake. I think we even eat it at +1 if we have a lot of our HP intact. So we should be able to Dragon Tail that Pokemon out and, you know, just not get swept so easily in the early to mid game. Then the last Pokemon on my team is going to be my check to those special attackers. It's going to be Komala. Really needed it on the team since I do have access to a lot of spikes with the Toedscruel. Being able to click spikes or T-spikes that are really annoying for me to deal with, especially with Air Balloon Claw, not being able to absorb those before it's broken. But really nice here to be able to, you know, take the Dracos, take the Hurricanes, eat everything from the Toedscruel. I mean, we can switch in on Spore since we do have the Comatose ability, and we don't have to worry about that at all. If they want to swap out into like Metagross on it, or even Milotic, we can click Super Fang to be able to take them down to 50% every single time. And Body Slam is really nice to be able to, you know, potentially get a para on any Pokemon on their team. It's really nice. It can help me against the Thorns. It can help me out against the Metagross if they want to swap hard into the Hisuian Sneasel. Puts me in a good spot. But most of the time, we're just going to be clicking U-turn because it's a great negative priority. I mean, not really, but looking at their team, I mean, I'm slower than basically everything except for that Grimmsnarl that's probably just going to be clicking Parting Shot or some screens, which are Prankster boosted, and then the Oranguru, which I don't think comes to this game at all. So we're the slowest thing on the field, and we get that, you know, pivoting out. So hopefully we can put ourselves in good spots to potentially pick up some KOs with Iron Jugu, Primarina, maybe even Hisuian Electrode. But it is a very tough matchup for me. I don't deal well with that Metagross, especially since it's faster than most of my team. Very bulky, has a great typing into me. And then, the Iron Thorns, which, just one DD up, and it's a world of pain for my entire team. But I hope we can get through it. Hopefully we don't get swept by that Pokemon. But that's going to be about it for the team builder. If you guys enjoy, please be sure to check out the other ICP coaches and BBR-D down in the description. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss any more. But let's get to the battle. What is going on, everyone? We are here connected to BBR-D for our week 1 match of the ICP. We do see that they brought the Hisuian Sneasel, which I did not expect. What do we not see? I mean, we see top 4, no Milotic, no Oranguru, no Houndoom. That's it. So Iron Thorns is Terra, Water, Ground, or Electric. Very, very scary Pokemon that I'm definitely going to have to deal with. Electrode looks insane in this game with Terra Ice. I am really scared of that Sneasel. I do think Clodsire walls it decently well, but I want to try to use this set to wall the Iron Thorns, since we are Water Absorb plus Air Balloon, to be immune to all of their potential stabs. I don't have a great lead in this matchup with their the Sneasel, which is a Pokemon that I definitely can expect to be a lead. I think Iron Jugulus is actually quite solid. It doesn't do well if they lead with something like Grimmsnarl, which is the only worry. But I think it is my lead of choice here. There's a good chance we see Metagross, Noivern, or the Sneasel. I'd also see them going for the Toedscruel if they want to set up their hazards to start off. But yeah, good luck, have fun to our opponent. Hopefully we're going to be able to take home a W here. Let's get our Iron Jugu up. I mean, if we do see the Grimmsnarl on lead, we can just straight up U-turn out, unless we expect it to be Choice Scarfed, which I don't. And even if they are Choice Scarf Spirit Break, if they're max attack non-adamant, we do live. If they're adamant, we should live every single time still, as they do lead with the Grimmsnarl. So that's tough, but we don't get Prankster T-Waved, so that's not horrible. I mean, Hurricane also does a butt ton to this guy. But I think we're just going to click U-turn here. See what they want to get off here. Probably a screen of some sort. And then what can we go out to? I mean, potentially Gudra. Komala is not a horrible option, as they're just going to Parting Shot. It's not going to work, man. Which is fine by me. We're just going to get a little bit of chip on that Pokemon. I mean, we don't do very much. Kind of looks like they might be physically defensive, though. I could go out to something like Komala, get a slower U-turn off, which I think is the best option in this scenario. Just kind of start chipping this thing down a little bit, little by little. We have Comatose, so they can't T-Wave us. Spirit Break doesn't do very much. Yeah, I think it's just time to click U-turn here. Body Slam is also a very solid press, especially if we get a para, but I don't want to have to rely on that. So we're just going to U-turn. If they set up a screen, that's not the end of the world at all. And they might say maybe they made that Parting Shot play so I could, like, in case I was scouting for Scarf. But they never would have knocked me out anyways. So yeah. And they're just going to set up a Reflect in my face. That's totally fine. We're going to get the U-turn off versus this guy. And I mean, it looks like he's fully Fizz Def, if I'm gonna be honest. I could be wrong though. Looks fully Fizz Def. We could go out to Jugu and just throw off a really nice Hurricane versus them, because I'm not scared. I also could go Prim, but if we get T-Waved, it would put us in a kind of nasty spot. I really don't want to get T-Waved on Prim, so we're gonna go out to Jugu again. And Iron Jugulus, if they do not set up a, if they don't go for Light Screen here, then we definitely knock them out with Choice Specs Hurricane. If they do, we should 2-hit KO them from this range. If they don't, we should be able to knock them out here. Oh, no, we don't. Okay, Spirit Break is fine. We should always live. Yes, we do. I guess they were more specially defensive than I expected. We're -1. All we have to do is hit a Hurricane. Not the easiest thing for us to do, but we're going to go for it. And if we miss it, oh well. I called up OG Albina the other day, and I was like, man, I've been losing all these games just to missing Bleak Wind Storm, missing Meteor Mash, missing Triple Axle. And it's like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal, man. I gotta get over it. He helped me a lot with that, which was really nice. Take the time out of his day for a smaller creator like me. They're gonna withdraw. I mean, we're choice specs. I know we're -1, but I think we're fine. We bring the boom. Noivern, really? Yeah, they're gonna see my specs. This thing is gonna take a ton of damage. We do land. Yeah, that's a lot. And what if they are boom burst? We should get knocked out every time, sort of thing. I do like Gudra just being naturally specially defensive. Is solid. We can also go out to Komala, which I think is really good here. If they want to potentially, I mean, they could click U-turn here. I think U-turn makes a lot of sense from them, but I think we're gonna go out to Komala anyways. We get a pretty free body slam or even just a U-turn off. And if we U-turn out to Primarina, then I think we're looking pretty solid. All right, we get this Komala out, and they're just gonna U-turn. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty expected. Do like 10%, that makes sense. I have a feeling that we could see the Thorns come out here. And if they bring out the Thorns, it's not the biggest deal. If they bring out the Sneasel, then it could be bad. I am definitely scared of a Sneasel. The Rizzler. This can't be the Sneasel. It is. They really have Sneasler the Rizzler. I mean, we do have Clodsire, but getting rid of my air balloon so early would be really tough. But if they are just going to click close combat versus us, it knocks us out in one shot. Puts me in a really tough position where I feel like I have to go out to Claude. I do feel like I just have to. And it is tough for the Iron Thorns endgame, but it's also not the end of the world at all. Now we have the air balloon, and they're just going to fake out. That's interesting. That's very interesting. No more air balloon, which is fine. We can throw off an EQ here if we want. I also kind of like the idea of setting up a Toxic Spikes, or just clicking Toxic on the Noivern switching in. I could also double to something like the Primarina. I actually really like the idea of doubling out to Prim, so I'm going to make that play. I feel like there's no way that they stay in here. There's just no reason for them to. I feel like the Noivern makes so much sense. And they can be Choice Scarf, so they go to Bloopy. Who is that? Okay. I mean, not the worst Pokemon that we could see. Because we can threaten this thing with a potential Ice Beam. I think we just go for the flip turn here. If they want to Spore or something like that, they have negative priority, so they wouldn't even know if we're Choice Scarfed or not. But we are, and we always outrun this Pokemon. I'd love to see a swap, like maybe expecting an Ice Beam, because Ice Beam would destroy this thing. And Ice Beam makes so much sense into their team. I just, for some reason, I didn't fit it. I mean, I kind of need all the coverage I could get. Energy Ball from Milotic is nice in those end games, where I potentially would have had to get like a special defense drop. So they're gonna go out to Noivern on this. That's fine. They're gonna see my Choice Scarf, which, I mean, oh well. I think we get to go back out to Komala, and we can click U-turn. Noivern. Yeah, I mean, Komala and U-turn is just always so free. If they're clicking Roost or something, then I just get to go back out to Prim and click Moonblast. This could be a Choice Scarf Pokemon, though. It definitely could be. If they click U-turn here, it might just be. I mean, I don't know. If they click U-turn, I feel like that would be a totally normal play for them to do. Now, if they go for Draco, then they're definitely not. Because, I mean, the Prim is just so telegraphed to come out after that. I'm surprised they brought this Pokemon in on potential Ice Beam, though. Because they're going to Hurricane, they're going to miss. I mean, it would have done a good chunk. It would have done about 30% to me. And I get to go out to Prim now. And this scenario, I might just be able to click Surf versus them. We obviously bring in the Prim. They might think that I'm faster than them with the Choice Scarf. Depending on their set, I could be. But I feel like Metagross might be the swap here. Metagross makes a lot of sense if they want to switch out to that. I also do just think firing off a Moonblast is really fine. If they get that free swap into Metagross, we're getting some chip on it, and we have the hard pivot out to Goodra, which I don't hate. So we're going to Moonblast. I feel like it's very free. I'd love to see them go for like potential U-turn this turn, which wouldn't do very much. Or they could go for Hurricane and miss, which would be awesome for me as well. I really want to get rid of that Sneasel. It'll make my life a little bit easier, just having switch-ins. I mean, I have the Clodsire. I was hoping to be able to use that a little bit for whatever it's called, as they do hard swap, which makes me kind of feel like they might be scarfed. So they're going to go out to Metagross. Totally fine. We're not going to do just about any damage to that Pokemon. 10 or 5, 10, like 15% potentially. That looks like it's Assault Vest. Yeah, Assault Vest makes a lot of sense coming off of that. I feel like we could see a knockoff come out here, but my play is always to go out to Goodra. And then being Assault Vest is worse for me, because my Fire Blast doesn't do very much damage to them now. But it's still not horrible. They can't be rocks, or I guess they could be like Max Spadef. But I'm assuming that they're AV, seeing as though we don't see an item from them. And like if they were offensive, like Choice Scarf, which we wouldn't see an item, then they would have taken a lot more. So we're just going to make it out to Goodra here. If they knock us off or Earthquake, that's fine. They click Heavy Slam, which is great for us. That does absolutely no damage. We're going to get... Oh, no, they're Clear Body. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And they should outrun us, but I can freely click Fire Blast here. They don't have a great switch-in, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like it's pretty free. They might want to stay and click Earthquake. They might want to stay in and click Knockoff, which would be fine, but they have to actually like respect me clicking Earthquake or a Fire move into them. They just have to respect this. And if they swap out here, it's fine. We're getting this thing chipped down. I know it's Assault Vested now. So they are going to Earthquake. We're going to eat our Shucka Berry. This should do about 100 damage. It did less, so they're not even max attack adamant, which is great. We are going to hit the Fire Blast as well, which is awesome. Alright, one more Fire Blast should bring it into Surf range from Prim, or at least into range where they can never switch in. So I'm going to go for another Fire Blast. We don't have our Shucka anymore, but we should be able to eat up the hit from this. Max, if it was adamant max attack, then the max they would be able to do is 216, and they're definitely not that. They also could make like an aggressive play out to Noivern or something here, but I don't think that makes too much sense. I also did not count turns on their Reflect earlier, so I'm not 100% sure if they're Light Clay on Grimmsnarl or not, although it would make a lot of sense. And I assume that the last move is just going to be Light Screen, although they didn't click it in front of my my Jugu, which is still fine. But I mean, T-Wave does make sense, but into my Electrode that's in the back, maybe not. But also this Fire Blast damage is really nice for Electrode to be able to come in and clean up a little bit better later. So they're going to hard swap out to Bloopy. I mean, this is going to take a good amount of damage. Yeah, we're going to hit this. I mean, it takes a lot. That thing's also like very specially defensive, I think. They could be potential Assault Vest as well. We also should be able to eat any one hit from this Pokemon. I am a little bit worried about like a T-Spike. No, I'm not. I'm not worried about T-Spike at all, if I'm gonna be honest. And this Goodra, do I really need it versus a lot of stuff on their team? Definitely not. I do feel like a Fire Blast or a Draco makes a lot of sense. Even Dragon Tail is solid. But if we bring in the Sneasel, then that puts me in a tough spot. I do kind of like clicking Draco Meteor this turn, so I think I will. And just a little bit more accurate, as I think they're going for like Spore, which would be fine. No, they're going for Spike. I mean, that's also totally fine. I even could go hard out to Komala here, which would be able to eat decently well. Anything that they would want to go for. Only bad part is if they were to switch this turn. But I'm going to go out to Komala, and I'm just going to click spin. If they make a great double out to, or a great swap out to the Sneasel, then that would be great for them. It would put me in a pretty bad spot, which they definitely could do. But I mean, then I can go Clodsire. I'm taking more chip on the entirety of my team, but not that much. We're gonna swap. This Pokemon is faster than me, so they would have swapped first, unless they're like min speed. So it doesn't look like they swapped. We're gonna be comatose, so they can't spore us. So they're just gonna click Earth Power. Should do nothing. Yeah, maybe a little bit more offensively invested than I expected. We're just gonna click Rapid Spin here. I mean, it's totally free. We get the Spike off of the field. And then we'll have +1 speed, which if they're not max speed, or I guess it's more likely if they're no speed. And if they are, then we would outrun them the next turn and potentially just be able to knock them out with a Body Slam. Because this Rapid Spin should not knock them out. Yeah, our Rapid Spin should not knock them out here. I guess if they have no defense investment, it might have been a slight roll. But I don't think so. I'm going to go out to the Rizzler. So the Sneasel comes out. We're going to do a ton of damage to the Sneasel. That's crazy damage. Sneasel Hisui. I mean, yeah, that Pokemon just took so much. They're definitely not Eviolite. And close combat destroys me. The switch out is so obvious. And I'm really afraid of them taking advantage of that and going potentially the Thorns. I'm worried about sub-DD Thorns in this scenario. I feel like it might be in my best interest to just click Body Slam this turn or click U-turn. Because their double makes so much sense here. I'm going to U-turn. They close combat. Wow. I personally don't think that was a very good play, but I mean, it worked out for them. I expect this Pokemon to be Choice Scarfed as well, just so we're on the same page about this stuff. If I went to Prim, I don't outspeed them if they're not Scarfed, unfortunately, which is tough. We can go out to Electrode, and I always do live. I can also go out to Clodsire, which is fine. I think the play is to go out to Electrode, because we always outrun them unless they're Scarfed, and we just get the freest Volt Switch versus their team. And if they want to go out to Bloopy, then I can knock them out the next turn. I feel like this is fine. Volt Switch might not even take them out, actually. Maybe I should click T-Bolt. Oh, but they're -1. They're -1. They would definitely die. Oh, not being stupid, or not being that stupid at least. Sucks to see that they actually close combated into like the very obvious pivot out to Clodsire. I just wanted to be able to make that play, but it didn't work out. Alright, they do swap this turn. They're going to go out to Bloopy, that's fine. Toads, Cruel. This thing is max Spadef. I mean, I can obviously Terra. Do I want to get the Terra off this early? I think I have to. I'm just worried about the Bullet Punch from Metagross. But I think this is what we have to do. Leaf Storm is a roll, and I'm just not, like, it's not, no. I'm not going to take it. We also have the chance to miss with Leaf Storm. And it would just put me in a really tough spot if they were able to get a Spike up in this game. So we're just going to get this Terra Blast off. Okay, Metagross. If they're max attack Adamant, Bullet Punch versus Terra Ice on me, I always live because we know they're not banded. Okay, Bloopy goes down. That's great for us. If they bring out Metagross, I might Leaf Storm and get my eject pack off. I could. I don't know, I feel like their play might just be to go back out to the Sneasel. If they're Choice Scarf, they definitely will. And they're not Choice Scarf. They clicked Fake Out. I guess they clicked Fake Out, then Protect, or then swapped. So they could be. I just doubt it. That's a little dense from me there. But that's totally fine. If they do bring out the Sneasel here, I do think I swap, no matter what, though. If they go out to the Thorns, we click Leaf Storm. If they go out to Grimmsnarl, I think I would just click T-Bolt. Big AJ. It's going to be the Gross. I might want to preserve the HP on this Pokemon. I think going out to Goodra is a solid option here. On what is so telegraphed to be a Bullet Punch. Even if it's like a Heavy Slam this turn, that's fine. We should still be able to live any Earthquake. Yeah, they do Heavy Slam. So we definitely live an Earthquake from this Pokemon. They are Assault Vested. I could Dragon Tail this turn if I wanted to, or even go for like a Flash Cannon. Dragon Tail, I really don't hate the Dragon Tail option, if I'm going to be honest. I feel like a switch makes a decent amount of sense from them here, especially if they want to keep this thing healthy. But I will go for Fire Blast, just because if they let me have the damage on this Pokemon, then it's enough for my Electrode to be able to knock it out. We are going to hit another Fire Blast. That's huge. They're going to be real low. We do get the burn on them, which is also very nice. Sorry about the luck. It does happen. They might even just go straight down to this. I think this turn, I just click Flash Cannon is my best option. This thing might go down. But if they want to switch out to like a potential Grimmsnarl, even Sneasel, they take way too much damage. Yeah, they would just take way too much. The Thorns is what scares me the most in this game, though. So if Thorns comes straight out after this, I might have to rely on Dragon Tail. Alright, we do get knocked off. Or knocked out. And they should get knocked out as well. Right? Yes, okay, perfect. So Goodra gets that nice Fire Blast knockout there, which is huge. That's just great for us. I think Prim just makes so much sense to come out here. Electrode also makes a ton of sense. I think Electrode's even just better, because if we see Thorns, we Leaf Storm, and we get our Eject Pack, we get to swap out to potential like Primarina, who's Scarfed if they are like setting up DD. Or we could go out to Clodsire, who they might think is unaware. We also should be able to Revenge Kill them with an Earthquake from that damage. What else? If they go out to Noivern, we outspeed it and knock it out with Terra Blast. Even if they're Scarfed, I don't think they knock us out. If they're Sneasel, they're not Choice Scarf. And even if they go Sneasel, I think I should just go Clawed. So we're going to go Electrode. I think they should... I don't know. This is scary. Sneasel is not Scarfed. There's no way that Sneasel is Scarfed. Yeah, they're just going to go to Grim. If this is T-Wave, it's scary. It definitely is. But it's not the end of the world. I could even just hard swap out here if I really wanted to make sure this thing doesn't get T-Waved, since it is faster and should be able to knock out their Noivern plus the Sneasel. I actually really want to go to Jugu here. I even could go to Prim, but I don't want that thing to get T-Waved. I also could go to Claude, but I'm a little bit worried about them being sub-DD. I'm going to go out to Jugulus here. I'm going to make this a very, very aggressive play. I mean, it only gets punished if they go for the Spirit Break, which is probably the worst move that they could go for, because they do Light Screen, so they're not T-Wave, which is fine. That's not a big deal. This thing definitely gets knocked out from a Flamethrower. U-turn It was 13 to 15. They were 5, 10, 15. Flamethrower should knock it out. Dark Pulse definitely won't. Hurricane's probably my better click. Do I need to position myself better so they can't just win with the Thorns? I don't want them to be sub. I think we are going to click U-turn, as they're going to stay in an attack. We do knock them out. Okay. I was not expecting that to knock them out. Maybe that's like a max roll. Or maybe they just weren't even as HP invested as I expected. Prim makes a lot of sense to come out here, because if we do see the Thorns, we get a pretty nice Moonblast, even through Light Screen. It does a decent chunk versus them. I also can flip turn, kind of scout out for what their Terra is going to be. I also can go to Claude, but if they are, if they're sub, is Claude able to break the sub? Like potential Terra Water. Claude breaks the sub most of the time if they're no HP. Oh man, this makes it really tough for me, because I don't want to lose by... I'm going to go Prim. I don't want to lose by going out to Claude. And at least with Prim, we're like sacking it versus that Pokemon. Like worst case scenario, they're Terra Water Thorns. They should have Earthquake on that Pokemon, right? On the Thorns. Maybe Ice Punch. We also get to see if they're like some sort of booster set or not. They do go out to it. They're no booster, so that's great. No booster is nice. So they do less to Claude. Energy Ball, if they're Terra Water, is actually the better play. It should do a good chunk. If they're Terra Electric, it's not even going to be able to break a sub. But 2 would. I think we bank on them. I don't think there's any reason for them to be Terra Electric into Claude. So I'm going to Energy Ball this turn. I think that they should be Terra Water or Terra Ground. I assume this is water. It's electric. Are you kidding me? Wow. Okay, that's a really bad press for us on that turn then. We're going to Energy Ball. We are faster for now, as we do 0 damage to them on the DD. So we're in a bad spot now. We could just get swept by this Pokemon, because I played poorly around it. I do think Electrode should still outrun this Pokemon at +1. Yes, we do. We are EV'd for that. So I'm going to go out to Electrode here. But if they get to up to +2, and they're Terra Electric, if they have Ice... Well, no, we're Terra'd. We're going to make the hard Electrode play here. We'll see if they attack or not. They're going to get up to +2/+2. Yeah, we are just not in the best position here at all. I let them get their... I let them get this Pokemon activated. I'm going to go for the Leaf Storm. We'll see what kind of attack they have to hit me. Earthquake will be able to knock me out at +2 from Jolly. They might just think that they are free to set up. Thunder Punch comes out. This is going to knock me out. Yeah, I think we're just going to get swept by this Pokemon. Earthquake at +2 versus Claude knocks it out. If they're Ice Punch, they don't actually get knocked out. Maybe I should have went hard out to Claude and clicked Toxic. Oh, man. Is Toxic or Earthquake better? If we crit Earthquake, we just knock it out. No, we don't even. Yeah, it's going to be over. Dang it, man. All right, I'm going to click Earthquake, as they are just Earthquake. We're going to lose to this stupid Pokemon. I had no great ways to counter it. As soon as Sneasel came out, I should have kept this Pokemon with its air balloon, because I think we would have been fine in this late game. And I just misplayed. Definitely did. But great game to our opponent. We're going to take a 3-0 loss. Very unfortunate start to the season for us. But very well played by them. They came through some hacks from us And yeah, it's just how it is. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.